Record with Cloud. I think we're live. All right. Hey, Stay Wild Child. We are on conversation 36. I'm so excited. This is my friend, Michelle Bjornberg. And Michelle and I, we have a special story. Her and I met at a ball that she was hosting to raise money for childhood brain cancer research. And I was so inspired by her passion and her just knowing what she wanted to accomplish that I jumped up out of my chair and I chased Michelle out of the ballroom and I said, I'm going to help you raise money. And I didn't know her at the time. She probably thought I was crazy because I was literally running after her. I gotta introduce myself. But I was so inspired by your passion, and I had to introduce myself to you. So this is my friend Michelle. We've known each other maybe about, has it been about 5?
5 years, probably. Yeah.
5 years. Yeah. 5 years. Yeah. And so we started, I just really started showing up at her house to attend these meetings. And just was really inspired by the action that she was taking in an area that was an unbelievable loss for her. But I loved her spirit and her passion behind it. And so I knew that she was somebody I wanted to not only help raise money with, but also just wanted to be part of her tribe, wanted to be her friend. And so Michelle, thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for that introduction, Nicole. I had, you're amazing, and I had an instant connection with you, obviously, when you came up, and what I call is you get it, right? And you got it, like you understood it right away. There wasn't, you just know there's no words that need to be said. So I adore you, and I just appreciate our friendship in so many ways. So thank you. I appreciate that introduction. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So so what I usually like to start the show with is a little bit about, the show is helping women remember who they are.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
That was my Alexa. Yeah, she just chimed in.
We're not sure either.
Yeah. So, she's my speaker. I always like to start the show with helping women remember who they are before the world told them who they were supposed to be. And I know that you have, you've made a lot of changes in your life over the last, probably over a decade. And, but just kind of fill us in, just give us a little background about who you are and, kind of what you want, this girl gang, this Stay Wild Child girl gang to know about you. But it's helping women remember who they are before the world told them who they were supposed to be. Those labels, that society puts on us, and these shoes that we try to fill, and instead of, kind of just stepping into who we are, which I've watched you step into who you are. So
thank you. Yeah. I'm all about balance in my life. And I, like a lot of us, when we decide to have children and go to that direction in our life, which is so important and so amazing and a beautiful time in our lives. And I embraced that 110% during that time of my life. Unfortunately, I lost my daughter at the age of 12 from a brain tumor, and at that point in time, I just I really didn't know what to do with myself anymore. To tell you the honest truth, I was very lost, and it was a hard thing to get through or continually going through. And so I constantly was looking for that balance, right? And so I have a son who's going to be graduating from high school this year, and Sydney would be 20 on the 21st of October. So I'm a little emotional, to say the least, this week. But sure. It's. I say this to myself a lot. I say it out loud. This is my journey, and I want to embrace my journey. Like, life is short, and Sydney taught that to me. And you have choices, right? Nicole, you've heard me say this 100 times. I have a choice. I can rock myself in the corner, or if I can stand up and fight. Which one do you want to do? And neither of them are easy. Nobody's judging, but right. I kept saying, this is my journey, and I I want to make this journey what I want to make it. And so through help with Nicole and so many others, I now have a chapter called the North Texas chapter of the Cure Starts Now. And we raise money for childhood cancer research and specifically brain cancer. And pretty much 98% of what we raise goes directly towards research. So we've together raised over $1.5 million in the last 7 years. So that was kind of my first part of my balance, but I'm a physical therapist. So I'm really did not know how to do galas and golf tournaments. So
right.
That's why people like Nicole was so important to me, is that I had no clue what I was doing. So yeah, so that was the kind of the first part of me saying, okay, who's this new person going to be and what does it look like? So that was my first part of my journey.
Yeah. So I imagine that when you're in these events, the Cure Starts Now, when you're in these golf tournaments and these galas and things that we hold in these silent auctions, I know that you got to feel Sydney just like right there going, yeah, Mom. I mean, just I just imagine that it has to be that moment has to be overwhelming, and maybe you don't feel it right at that moment, but maybe it's, you know, the week or two after the excitement of everything. But I know that you must feel her by your side, just championing you.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the emotions that you go through, for sure, because I've never been one to stand up in front of people. And, you know, I like a crowd of 10. I'm a personal trainer, physical therapist, right? I can do that easy, but you get many more than that. And she just lit something inside of me that really allowed me to be able to share the passion that I have with going through this experience, and obviously seeing my daughter go through this experience. It's just something I never want another family or child to have to go through. And so as hard as it is to put yourself out there, and you know what people sometimes say is just, it's hard to put yourself out there when you've had a loss like that. And
Right.
but honestly, I can't not do that. Like, as hard as it is sometimes, and how I get, it's challenging, right? Because you get discouraged and you get let down, and you're already grabbing just to stay alive, and then you're having to grab at people to try and understand. And sometimes it's family's the hardest, you know. When I'm doing a fundraiser, it's not about the amount, it's about just giving, just understanding that every time I do this, I'm putting myself out there, and it's not easy. Yet I continue to do it year after year, month after month. And I do it because it's not going to bring Sid back. I do it for the future. And so that is probably one of the hardest things for me. But I feel Sid so deep in here. Like, I know that she's just like, I have to do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, I have to tell you, I've heard you speak on many occasions, and you wouldn't know that you had any trouble speaking in front of a big group of people, because it's like you put on that, you know, that cape, that Superwoman cape, and you're like, let's do this.
Let's do it. We got to do it.
We've got money to raise. We've got awareness to bring forth.
Yeah.
And
it's just kids have been put on the back burner for way too many years. And it's great seeing, you know, September is starting to have more awareness. And, you know, Nicole, the hardest thing for me is that people don't understand that by finding better treatments, more productive treatments for the most deadliest tumors known to man, is going to bring better treatments to our adults as well. It's a small population, as they say. I put this in quotes because as a number of years, kids lose so many more years than an adult. There is no reason why our children should have cancer. There just isn't. Yet it is so incredibly underfunded. So I can't give up. It spews out of me. It just is what it is.
Yeah. So. I know that, her spirit is with you. I mean, I feel it every time that you speak, and it's been a blessing to partner with you and to stand on that stage with you and to help raise money, because I know, I see the impact that it makes in our community, in our, in the organization, in just
our
everyone.
kids. most
yes.
importantly, I see now what we're doing for our kids. Like if it wasn't for people like us, then literally childhood cancer, they get the money from people like us. You know, the selling cookies and cakes and doing runs in the community. That's how we get our money. Big corporations do not support us. They just don't support these kids because it's not profitable enough. So yes, it's just, you know, we've got to keep getting the word out there, and it's getting there. You can see it. I see it. I won't get into some of the research that we have funded, that we have been able to have produce real research and for these kids, and it's so important. More researchers are out there doing the research now, and we've got tumors to be able to know what kind of mutations there are. And I mean, the list just goes on and what we've done definitely in the past decade. And I believe in my lifetime that there will be a productive treatment for our children to give them real hope. And that's what my goal is. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Michelle. So you've gone back to work. You've gone back into your passion, which is physical therapy.
Yeah.
And I know that you were working in an office for a period of time.
Yeah. So I work at an outpatient clinic, which is awesome. I love outpatient and what I do, but I always wanted to open my own business. And so this is that thing that we talk about where our life kind of changes and we're like always trying to find this balance. And you know, you can complain all you want, right? But when the rubber meets the road, if you really want to do it and really put yourself out there, you know, you start a business.
Yeah.
So you start it, but then you got to get it going, right? So it's two different things. And so I work at a clinic and COVID hit and my hours got reduced, but it opened up time for me. And I was like, you know, I don't like to have very much moss grow under my feet. And so I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to open up my own business. So I started a business called Body Balance Physical Therapy and Personal Training Online. And I got to this obviously because, you know, COVID and people can't get out that much. But I think more importantly is that people don't have the time these days, right? But they also don't have the motivation. So I've been doing this for 25 years, being a physical therapist. I've got my degree in PT, and then I've got a master's in exercise physiology. So I've been doing personal training and physical therapy for a lot of years. And so there's two parts to my website, and basically it's physical therapy and personal training. And it's not just about getting people better. And that's what's hard for me is when I'm in a clinic and they don't have anywhere to go to afterwards. Like this allows me to do physical therapy. If you're having, you know, pain or limitations in your life, then you go to physical therapy, and then you don't have any accountability. And so then you go back down in the bottom of the bucket again, right? And your back starts hurting again. So this allows me to go from the personal training part to the physical therapy, to the physical therapy part, to the personal training part.
Right.
And hopefully because of technology in a financial way that just about anybody can do it. So depending on what, you know, where they want to go and what they want to do. So it's been really fun for me so far.
I love it. You know, a lot of people have, you know, there's two different ways you can look at 2020. You know, you can look at it as, you know, that this is, you know, a horrible year and, you know, lots of things have happened and the economy is shut down. Or you can look at it and you see these stories like yourself who decided, you know what, I'm slow during this time. What can I do to, you know, kind of shift things, and how can I step into what I've always wanted to do? Right. And so you had the time there and the opportunity to be able to like really extend this offering to people. I know that, you know, most times medical, you know, insurance is paying for your physical therapy. And so once that's done, if there's any physical therapy that's added on, once that's finished, yeah, you're right. People are lost.
Yes. And to tell you the truth, Nicole, the hard thing about that is when insurance pays for it, you have a deductible that's $50, right? And so you pay that. So everybody's paying a deductible now, and you go into a clinic. And I'm really thankful because the clinic I'm at, they don't run it this way. But there's a lot of clinics you don't even see the physical therapist. You see a tech that has no education. So with my website, I'm one-on-one physical therapy. one-on-one personal training. Like, you know what, if you're really wanting to get better and really, you know, that's the way to do it. You just, you know, you got to pay for your health sometimes. And sometimes,
Yeah, you do.
but it's so worth it. It's so, if you know that you can't do it and you're a diabetic, let me tell you, go look up diabetes, right? And if you know that you can't exercise, yet you can afford to have somebody help you, to me, it's hard to think that people wouldn't do that. Like, health is so important. It empowers you to take control of your own body. I mean, for me, health, eating right, and fitness, I wouldn't be where I was today. When Sydney first got sick, that's what or after she passed away, actually, I'd go out to the track when it was dark outside and I'd just run as quick as I could because I needed to get that out. I needed those endorphins to keep my head straight. And
Right.
look at us now, like the world is a weird place, right? And
Right.
if you can't respect yourself enough to bring in, you know, good nutrients and be healthy, like, it's so important for your mental state, for your body, for your balance, for everything. And I wanted to make that a financial feasible thing for people to do and to bring it into their own home and be able to help them do that. And that's really, it's to help people. It's really, that's why I did it. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I do. So to empower them to take control over their body.
That's incredible that
yeah.
you get to see a physical therapist that has a master's degree, not just a tech. And you're basically, are you having a one-on-one session? Tell me how the structure goes. Tell me how,
yeah,
let's say I'm your new client, and I've had a handful of hip issues. So I'm your new client. I've had a handful of hip issues.
So we'd have
how would we begin?
A free consultation. So we'd go see if we're even a match, because that's the first thing. I'm not just going to take anybody, right? We got to see if we're a match together, because I want you to be successful. And
Right.
so, right. So we'd have a free consultation. We talk about what your issues are. And then there's a technique that I love. It's called TMR. It's total motion release. And basically, total motion release is about symmetry and quality of emotion. So what TMR allows me to do is I'm a type of therapist. I'm not a massage therapist. I want people to take accountability for getting better. I'm not getting you better. I'm not getting you better. You're getting you better. I'm just teaching you how to get yourself better. And TMR is a tool that has really allowed me to do that. It allows me to give you the tools to make you better. So you don't have to be with me forever. Then you can go on to my personal training part, and I make sure that you're doing a program that's more about really gaining strength, not just being able to functionally move your arm up and down. Because that's great to be able to get to that point. But you know what? Eventually, if you don't take care of the rest of the muscles around that and keep that strong, you're going to be right back to me. So I want to teach people how to maintain that for as long as possible. So, and you can do that. I give you that power to be able to do that. That's what I love about what I do. So I make them accountable for it, and it's great.
And I love that too. If you're not, if you don't have kind of like some skin in the game, then it's like it'll just fall away. And I am 100% with you. Feeling good is where it's at. It just is. And so when you feel good, mind, body, and spirit, you're kind of unstoppable. Just
you really are.
Yeah, especially in this day and age when immunity health is so powerful. And if we're taking care of our bodies, it just gives us that extra layer, that extra oomph to know that we can really be powerful against anything that comes in our way.
You really can. You know, anybody who's 40, everybody who's 40 has some sort of arthritis, right? And if you don't, by the time you're 40, if you haven't put something in your daily or weekly routine that is physical, it just gets harder and harder and harder to do it. And before you know it, that 35-year-old that you wish you were now, and now you're 45, 50, 40, somewhere around there, and your body's falling apart, it's because you have not taken care of it. But it's not too late. That's what I tell people. It's never too late. And I truly believe in lifting. I believe in working out with weights, and women with osteoporosis and all these other things that we have because our metabolism goes down, all these things with the thyroid. When you keep your muscle mass, you are a stronger version of yourself, and it's empowering. It really is. I mean, it's, you know, and I know not everybody has what I have. I mean, I do it all the time, right? This is what I do. That's what I want people to use me for. Like when I do personal training or physical therapy, they're like, God, I wish I could bottle you up. Be like, can't I just put you in a bottle? But you can
Right.
make a choice to have me by your side and help you get through it. And
it's these healthy habits that you start to create, and they just start to compound on each other.
It's
I mean,
so
you know,
true.
I do
Little
aerial
steps.
fitness.
Yes.
Yeah, I do aerial
Yes.
fitness. And I mean, 2 years ago, I could barely even pull myself up. And now, I mean,
Now look what you're doing.
I mean, I'm
It's
twisted.
awesome.
And I can't even believe my brain is even like working that way. And people don't believe, you know, like they'll see something, they're like, oh, you've been doing that forever. No, I don't have a gym background. I don't have a dance background.
Yeah.
I just showed up and I've practiced. And that's what you're offering. You're offering someone to practice at developing these healthy habits, and you're helping hold them accountable. And I can tell you, for me, you know, I go to an aerial class because that class, it's like it holds me accountable. And that's why so many gym memberships just kind of sit there, because there's nobody there to hold you accountable. And I love that you're this, you know, this inspiring coach that's like, you know, cheering people on, but then also helping them move out of their limitations.
So technology has really made this a little bit easier because, so for my physical therapy part of it, I have a 3 treatment guarantee. So if you don't start getting better in 3 treatments, I guarantee your money back 100%. And the reason why I can do that is because there's technology allows me to have them, when they're doing the exercises, like they have to be accountable for me. And then there's a pain pattern that they have to tell me what they're doing when they're doing their exercises that I give them, so that I know if they're getting better or not. So they prepay, but I will 100% give their money back if they're not better. I'm here to get you better. I'm not here to just say, oh, you know what, try me and let's see if it works. I mean, I really believe in what I do. I believe in what I do, and therefore it's easy for me, right? So I want to give you that ability to empower yourself to be able to do it yourself. And that's just education, really.
Right.
So, you know, one of my main things, I heard this from some guy one day, and it just really resonates with me. And when you go to a doctor, you know, basically a doctor can do, 4 things a doctor can do, right? They can drug it, they can test it, and they can cut it. The 4th thing is they can send you to a physical therapist. But what does our world do today? Our world wants a quick fix, and so they drug it first, right? They might test it, they might get an x-ray, but okay. They drug it, and they said, oh, I'm feeling better. And 6 weeks later, they're right back where they were or worse. They go get another steroid shot, right? Eventually, steroids, remember, you're putting a toxic thing into your body. And eventually, steroids break down your bones. You take it enough, and it breaks you down. And so there are times for steroids, don't get me wrong. But if you have an injury and you've been dealing with it for however long, why wouldn't you try something invasive first? I don't understand. If anybody knows that answer, please let me know. Except for that we've become a society of quick fixes. And we want the quick fix, but unfortunately this quick fix doesn't last, and it's not good for your body. So I just, I want to have that opportunity to educate people and get them better. That's all.
Yeah. So share a story. You, of course, don't use names, but people love stories. So share a story of somebody that you've watched in a certain, and you're a physical therapist, so you're allowed to use the word pain. So somebody who was in pain in some area of their body, and walk us through kind of their transformation.
Sure. So I'll say I have on my website, which is www.bodybalanceptonline.com. There's a place that it's called Wednesday Wings. And so I started it because I was jogging one day and I was thinking about Sydney and just this whole change in myself and you know, how I feel and that kind of thing. But anyways, on Wednesday Wings is is a YouTube or a video of me treating somebody with TMR, but total motion release. So it's a treatment that I've been doing with somebody, but I've worked with patients like have fibromyalgia, and fibromyalgia is very, very difficult. I work with a lot of chronic pain people, and it's really hard. It's really, because you have to empower them in order to use these different motions to maintain this symmetry and alignment in order to live out of pain. And it takes work.
Right.
When you've been in chronic pain, it's easier for me to get somebody who comes in an 8 out of 10 a month ago than it is that somebody's staying at 5 or 6 for 15 years, right? So when you get that pain, first of all, don't avoid it. Don't wait 3 years to get help with it until you can't move your arm any longer or your back doesn't move anymore. Get in there and get it fixed so that I always say at the bottom of the bucket. Don't come to me at the bottom. Come to me at the bottom of the bucket, but if you can come earlier, it's better. And so I've had patients with fibromyalgia that's come in, they live at a 7 or 8 out of 10. 10 is emergency room, 0 is no pain. And they'll live at that. But I've given them tools to empower themselves when they're at that 8 to get themselves to a 5. That is success.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that I can get everybody to a 0, but what it does is it allows people to take control of their pain and be able to get it down and under control. So, and then there's of course people who come in with shoulder issues, right? Or hip issues or whatever, that those ones I can get where their range is better and teach them body awareness. We have such poor body awareness in this society. So I get this all the time with a shoulder, okay? Somebody comes in and let's do this. So they'll lift their arm to about here. Oh yeah, that hurts. And they'll be okay. And I'll do a treatment on him and they'll say, lift their arm up to here and they'll go, oh yeah, that hurts. And I'll say, is it better, worse, or no change? Oh, it's no better at all. And I'll have to say to him, okay, so the first time you stopped it was right here. And I got you from here to here. Now your pain might be the same at the end, but you can actually lift up into a cupboard before you get pain now rather than having paintbrush in your feet. Right. Those are the things that you're looking for. Like when people live in pain, and we're specifically looking at pain right now, it's hard for them to look at that range that they're getting within that pain or how their body is moving. So part of what I do, a huge part of what I do is body awareness. Right. What is your body doing? How does it move? What does it feel like when you move? What does one side look like to the other side? So important. And we are oblivious. It's really interesting because I don't think I know very much, but then when I educate people, I realize that I know a little bit more than I thought I did.
Yeah. There is a lot of unawareness. And I mean, I was a massage therapist in my late 20s and I worked with a chiropractor, and I just remember, people coming in most of them had been in automobile accidents, maybe a sports injury, but most of them were automobile accidents. And I remember just little things reminding them of, are you gripping your steering wheel like this? Like how hard are you holding your steering wheel under your shoulder? Are you looking at, right. We probably have phones back. Did we have phones? I guess we had phones. Did we? Did we have phones in my late 20s?
Nice typewriter.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. I really can't remember. But anyhow, that down, that down motion. I remind my husband
back, those forward shoulders, all those things.
I have to remind my husband of that all the time. I'm like, your head is down like this.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Nicole, there's so many people that are working at home right now. I mean, I am such an advocate of high-low desks. I stand up most of the time when I work, and our bodies we are not made to sit all the time. We are supposed to be upright. That's what humans do. We are supposed to stand upright. And when we don't work on keeping those postural muscles strong, that's what gravity does to us, right?
Yes.
So it's just, that body awareness. Where is it going? Catch that stuff before it gets harder to really fix, right? Mm-hmm. That's the whole idea behind it, is to catch it sooner and really get stronger. So, yeah.
Well, you have made it to where you can have someone in their corner that gives that person that opportunity to start to become aware. And it's just a reminder. I mean, there's there's so many things that are good for us in this life. And for whatever reason, we fall into resistance of those things. And if we just have someone just kind of giving us, those little reminders, every healthy habit that I've created in my life, whether it's breath work or meditation or working out or eating right, yeah, a lot of the time, not all the time, but taking supplements and those kinds of things. But those, for me, it's just a practice. And I've always usually, I mean, for the most part, some of it I can do on my own, but I've always had some kind of coach or someone,
Yeah.
kind of there just holding me accountable, because we like to say, I'll just do this today instead of, staying on track. And so I love that you've created this accountability system that's really affordable to people.
You have to, you really have to be healthy to really be able to function at your fullest, to function at, we're living, well, we might not live as long this next decade, but right now we are living longer than we've ever lived. I don't want to be around if my body isn't in me or my brain, right? I don't even want to, So regular exercise is just, it's a catalyst to a longer, fuller life, honestly. It's just, it's part of that puzzle that people are so afraid of, and they just don't have the to do it. I know time is a big deal. That's the good thing, about this when I started this online, is like, if you don't have time, it's going to be all about what is your time commitment. That's how the program is going to be put around. Okay, this is your time commitment. This is what you're telling me you need. So let me help you with that time commitment and what you can do with that. Do the best you can during that time you have.
So this is a personalized program then.
Totally personalized. Wow.
This
isn't, Nicole, this is not about washboard abs. That's what I always say. This is not about washboard abs. This is not this. We don't have to look, don't stay off Facebook because we're on there, but this isn't about the perfect body. This is about being able to have body awareness and to function your body to function at the fullest. And you don't have to run 5 miles to do that, or work out an hour and a half every day. 30 minutes 4 times a week for somebody is enough to sometimes get their blood pressure down and maybe not be on blood pressure medicine, or to they're at that level of being pre-diabetic or right there. That could be enough to get them off that medication. It's just so or just feeling better. So it's really not about that huge time commitment that everybody thinks it is. Consistency.
Yeah, consistency in life is everything. And you're right, the exercise, that the endorphins that it brings about, it changes your whole mental state. It just absolutely elevates it and pulls you out of that those lower places emotionally. And we've got a lot of fear push right now, and so that's what I always encourage. Do everything that you can to keep yourself out of that fear place and to keep your emotions elevated, because we don't want our immune systems being compromised in that manner. So
endorphins are real.
Perfect for people.
Yeah, endorphins are real. And if you don't keep those endorphins, circulating in your body, you become depressed. It's just, you become sad. You just, it's hard. And I know it's hard to get out of that sometimes, but it's that first step, one baby step at a time. People think that you have to jump in 2 feet, but really it's that first step that's the hardest. Once you take that first step, then you can grow on it. Don't be so darn hard on yourself. We are so hard on ourselves, to be perfect and to eat right all the time and exercise right and be perfect and have this perfect relationship. Don't be so hard on yourself. Just start it. Just simply start.
Just begin. Exactly. And it can be totally messy. It doesn't have to look great, but just beginning.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's pretty fun. Yeah. So I'm loving this part, Nicole. It's been a lot of fun for me. I'm super excited. And, I guess I'm, when you're a caregiver, naturally, I want to help people get to that point so that they can feel better. So
yeah, Absolutely. So your first session is complimentary, is that right? To kind of see where they are?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Give me a call. Sign up on my website. It's, free consultation. We'll sit down. We'll talk about, whether I can help you or not. I mean, that's
Right.
the thing with this. Like, there's no finances that you even need to pay in order to just talk and say, hey, do you think I can help you or not? It's not, that's what I keep saying to myself is that, I've only been doing this for a couple months now. The website hasn't been up long, but I'm like, you know what? I mean, what do you have to lose?
Right.
Even if you pay for 3 sessions of physical therapy and you don't get better, I'm going to give you your money back. So, and it's a free consultation first, and then, if you want to sign up with me and see if it works, we'll sign up. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, at least we tried. It's tried. You tried to go get a drug. You tried to get you tried those other things. So, what does it hurt to try?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And I know that you're going to come over to one of my weekend workshops, and you're going to do a little body balance there as well.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That's going to be fun. Yeah, just to quickly show people. Yeah, we can even do a Zoom call with a group of them. It's pretty awesome to see how people, how they respond to it. And, it's taking control of your pain, taking control of your body, taking control of your fitness. It's all about that. I'm just here to stand by your side. You're doing it. I'm just here. So.
It's an act of self-love when you step in and you start taking care of this.
I love that, Nicole. That's really true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
Great way to say it. Act of self-love. Yep.
Yeah. Well, Michelle, I love you. Thanks for coming,
Nicole. This is great. I love it. You're so awesome. This is a great podcast, YouTube thing that you're doing. And I just think you're going to help a lot of people with this, your energy and your positive outlook on things. And I just, I always want the best for you.
Yeah, right back at you, sister. Yeah. All right. Well, so this is live in the Facebook group. And then, of course, it's going to go on YouTube. And I'll, of course, get the link over to you. But thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for being a guest on Stay Wild Child. And I will put all of Michelle's contact information in the notes below. And then also on the YouTube links. So y'all have a blessed Monday. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, Michelle.
Wild.
I will.
Love it.